Alright, so we're going to put our blade onto here. And how are we going to do that? And I may scale some of this stuff down a little bit, but we'll deal with that in a minute. Is we're going to unhide our blade. So I'll come in here and turn off the Gladius. And then I'll take a look at it. I want to look at the vert on the edge modes on this. So I can see that it's got 2 tries up here, and I can get rid of those tries and help my final connection too in a second. So let me show you. What I could do is I'm going to take actually this edge here and delete it. Actually, no, I won't. I'm going to scale it out this way just to make it a little bit cleaner. There. And it's a little bit off, interestingly. So at this point, I'm going to attach the blade to it. So I have the blade attached to it. And then I'm going to go back to this mode. I'm going to change it. There we go. And I'm going to go to the front and see how off it is. So I can see it's a little bit off. I'm going to grab this one in this case and just go to the move mode and move it over. So it's lined up. Now, when I start doing the other parts, it should work fine. So if you can guess what I'm going to do, it's simple, is I'm going to come to the edge, or vert mode, by pressing 1 and say target weld, click here, do that. Click here, go to that. Click here, go to that, and click here and go to that. Now, I have a problem in this case is I don't want to make all these tries and all that weird stuff that I was doing down there. So, but there's another problem with the blade. Like I said, I had those 2 triangles up top. Again, this isn't always important, but it's important that you think about it. And if there's a way to get around it, then just do it. So I'm going to come to those 2 edges. I just grabbed one and did Alt-R, grabbed both and did Alt-R, and then say connect. So I've got to cut all the way down. And technically, even though this is shaped like a try, even though this is shaped like a try, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 edges. So this is actually a quad. And if I was going to do a loop, you can watch what it does. It actually goes up and then parallel and then parallel. So it takes that parallel line that way. So that's cool. That's weird though. Let me try this again here. Let's turn this off. There we go. Should have been even. I was just trying. Okay, so I've got quads up here, and it's also helped me with putting my blade together down here. How did it help? Well, now I can use my bridge. I can grab this edge and go to here, and 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 I've got it all connected together. Look at that, it's all one airtight object. Then we do our symmetry on the flip, the y-axis, and I may be a little off, it looks like. So let's go back to left and Z. I want to show you one other thing about this. This down here is what, how close together the objects have to be, kind of like weld, to weld them together into one piece. So if I turn this up, it'll snap them together like that. Sometimes you're going to have it do that, and you're going to be like, I don't want it to do that, so you just need to remember that you can come down here and mess with it. But in this case, I kind of want to make sure the center's in the right spot, so I'm going to look at this object here, scoop down to the middle here, and I am not even sure if I go to Y, it's not, oh, it is perfect here, but the problem was the sword was just a little bit off, and apparently so was the handle. Goodness. So the sphere down at the bottom's fine. So in this case, it may just be easier to, let's cancel this. We'll go to edge 2, double click it, see if we can grab that whole edge. So it's all the way to the top, right? I'm going to turn it around, make sure it goes all the way to the bottom. So I've grabbed that whole side right there, right? go back to left, take a look at it, and then you'll see these should move slightest bit. So if I turn that off now, and I go back and put the symmetry back on, and go to Y and we say flip, actually, everything's off, so that's good. It means it was done right. It just means that now that I've done that, what I could do, the problem is it disappears, is I could move this pivot point. I could move this to the pivot point, but since I can't see them when they disappear, I'll just do it the old school way and move this pivot point to it and deal with the position of its XYZ after the fact. I'll zoom in a little bit here, make sure it's exactly lined up like that. Pull back out, turn off the pivot point. Then we're going to go to here real quick and say reset X form, and then reset selected, and then convert to editable poly. It will bring us back to modify menu. And then we'll do symmetry and Y and flip. And we should have a seam that goes all the way up, and the sword's the key, right? The blade, yeah. So it's good there. Let's see if we lost anything here. Nope, look at that, almost perfect. Okay, so now you have your sword all laid out. The last thing we're going to do is do the smoothing groups, which I didn't have you do on the last homework, but it is going to be part of this homework. So we're going to say collapse, because the only way smoothing groups work is if you collapse them, unless you do them half at a time. Doesn't matter to me, so I'm going to say collapse to polys, and then we'll do smoothing groups in the next